Okay. Read and write data from the Excel sheet. Now, in our software testing, we have to deal with so much test data, right? We do have test cases where we have to do verification using the various type of data, and we have to just repeat the same set of tests, right? So when you do the automation, you cannot create, or you should not create the script with the duplicate lines, right? So in that case, since you have to execute each, since you have to execute the same step for for some number of data, we have to make sure that we will reuse the functions or the methods which we have created, right? And the data which we are storing are mostly in one of the file. It could be either a text file or the Excel file or the XML file. Most of the time we do store the most of the time we write our test cases in Excel itself, right? And in that Excel we keep our test data. Like for particular test case, what are the what which data will be going to use. So since Excel is widely used, and we are storing data, we are keeping test data in our Excel file. Today we'll understand, learn and understand that how to read and write data from Excel. Okay. Now, before we do this one, explaining this code, I'll open one of the Excel, one of the. So I have already created one test data Excel file. First, I'll explain that to you, that what are the test data I have created. Okay, so I have created the test data like Excel file with our batch details only, right? In the alphabetical order, I have added the first name, last name, gender, and the city which you are living. Okay, I hope this is correct. Picture, as per my information, this is correct. So the name of the Excel is training underscore detail. This is the worksheet name, right? This is the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row. And A, B, C, D. These are the columns in which data is there. So I am assuming that everyone knows that how the data is stored in the Excel. But still, I'm repeating that data is stored in one of the cell. So we have to fetch the value from the particular cell. And the cell address is the combination of column number and the row number. Okay. This is how we can fetch the data from the cell. Even if the manually we have to read, like for example, in this line, I have to perform some operation that I want to fetch value from B2, for example, right? So I write like this: B is the column, and 2 is the second row number. So this is the cell address. Okay. So this is the manual step we have done. We have opened the Excel file. Then we checked, since this Excel contains only one worksheet, we by default this is open. But in our automation, we do have to mention the worksheet name. Then what we have to do? We have to identify the row number and the column number for the particular cell for which we have to fetch the data. Okay, these are the basic thing. These are the basic thing which we do, and the same we will do in our script as well. Okay, so the steps, I hope everyone is clear with the steps. First open the Excel, then open the worksheet, then give the row number, and then give the cell number, the column number to read the data set, and then after lastly fetch the value. The basic steps, the manual steps we have to perform. Okay, now manually everyone know how we can read the data from the Excel. Now when we are reading from the script, we have to rely on third party library. So the third party library name is Apache POI. Hello.
Yes, Nitish.
Okay, so this is the third party library at which we will going to use Apache POI. Here POI stands for power of few, sorry, implementation. I'm very bad with the pronunciation of this word, obfuscation, but it's okay, right? It's okay. No one will ask you that what is the full form for POI. But Apache POI is an API that offers the collection of libraries which helps us read or write data in Excel file. Also, this is not just limited to only Excel file. If we want to open the PowerPoint, it works for PowerPoint and Word as well. Okay, fine. So in future, if anyone of your manager asks to write or fetch the data from the Word file or from the PowerPoint file or from the something, or write the data into that one, you can use this Java library, Apache POI. Okay, so it's a collection of Java library which helps to read or write data in the Excel. Since we have to deal with the Excel only, we'll keep our focus on Excel. Now, the terms which we will use in our automation scripts is the first is the workbook. A workbook represents the Microsoft Excel file, our actual Excel file. It can be used for creating and maintaining the spreadsheet, the same like we do in our Excel sheet. A workbook contains many Excel sheets. Workbook contains one or many Excel sheets. Instead of Excel sheet, we can say the worksheets. Okay. Then next is the sheet. So a sheet refers to a page in Microsoft Excel that contains the number of rows and columns. It means this, which I have said, sheet 1, sheet 2, like this. So this is one page. This is also one page. Okay. So refers to a page in Excel file. Next is row. A row represents the collection of cells. Represents the collection of cell. And in the last, cell means cell is the address. एक मिनट. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Guys. हाँ. So, okay, I was saying that a cell is indicated by a row and column combination. So basically it's the address. Okay. Cell is the address combination of row and column. Data entered by user is stored in the cell, as I have already said. Okay, and that data can be of any type: string, integer, number, value, formula, any type. Okay, now before this is the basic information or the terms. Next thing, before we start writing on the script, I'll tell you that from where we can download the library. Just search for the Apache POI, download. First one, poi.org, apache.org. Click on the latest stable release. Latest stable release. Download the bin version, not the source version. All right, download the bin version. I think this is the latest one. Yes, this is the latest one. See, it has released few weeks ago. I'll save it over here, and then in a project I will add it. Everyone knows how to add that, right? What is the process of adding that? I will remove this POI from my, this is 5.2.1. I have already added, and the one we have downloaded is the 5.2.2. Yeah, I have downloaded that on 19th March. Showing folder. Open the folder and copy this as we do. We paste in the same folder in a project and then configure the build path. Okay, so these were the files which I have already imported. This all if you want, you can do it right now, because I don't think iske baad you will get chance or work on this. Well, you can just download and at least configure in your project. Crosspath, adjust, lips, then add all the required libraries. We haven't added constant. See, when you add the few libraries like common codecs, common collection, this you will see that there are the multiple versions available, right? For this common codecs 1.15, 1.30. At the start, keep that as it is. If it is not creating any problem, then do not delete the older version. Okay. After you run the program, and if you get any error, then delete. Then you can delete. See, I have added this 2 times. See, the same library is in 2 different ones. Okay, apply, and close. Now, uh, first thing first, I have already created one Java class file, right? In one of your package, I have already created read write excel file.java. I'll be explaining this code only, but we will create one more script in which we will read the whole Excel file. This is just for reading the data from one single cell. Okay. So line by line, the very first thing is you have to give the proper name. Guys, please be interactive. Guys and girls. Okay, please be interactive. Uh,
Yes,
first,
sir.
first thing is we need the name, file name. In the manual, like we have to open the file explorer, we have to navigate to that particular that directory, and then we open that, we locate the file so that the file path is required. So we have copied that file in our project name folder test data. So to make sure that we don't get any issue, as we do, as we have followed this practice, first we write use this property system.get property user.directory, and then after we give the path. Okay. The next line is you have to do is that we have to create an object of a file class to open the XLS file. In that we will provide the Excel file name. So file, then the variable name or the object name is equal to new file Excel name. The next line is file input stream. As I have written that create an object of file input stream to read the Excel file. First one is for the opening the Excel file. This one is for the reading the Excel file. Make sure the difference. See the difference in this one. So whenever you do any file in it, file operation, you can always use file, and then the very next line you will use is the file input stream. Okay.
Correct.
Now the next thing what we do manually is that we open the workbook. Workbook means
Excel sheet.
Excel file जो हमने open किया है वही, ठीक है. This are the operations performed by some other library like Java, the system library, Java system library, not our third party library. Now our POI library's work will start. Okay. So we have used this XSF workbook. XSF workbook.
So, Nirvesh, so it's like we are going step by step. Like first step is like we are reading a file. Second is we are reaching to XLS file, and then sheet object. So
Yes,
is it
correct.
kind of one by one we are navigating to the place where we want to read a record?
Yes, correct, correct, correct.
Okay.
Okay. So now to open the workbook in our class or in our script, we can use either HSF HSSF workbook, or we can use XSF work. Okay. So both of them are used to open the Excel file, but the main difference is that this is limited to .xls file. That means till version 2003, Excel version 2003, 97 to 2003, 97, and this XSF workbook is used for both .xls or .xlsx. Okay, so we will use this only, XSF workbook only. Okay, so XSF workbook will create the object of this class to open the workbook. So in that XSF workbook, just the object name is equal to new, this class name, and in that we are passing the input stream, which has already read the Excel file. So what this input stream does is that it reads the Excel file and keeps in the clipboard, system clipboard. Okay, or system, or in the system buffer. So that is what our XSF workbook will be using that to process it. Okay, with the normal file input stream, we cannot process the Excel. So that is the reason we'll create the XSF object of the XSF workbook. Now, next is, once the Excel sheet is open, what we do, we have to read the page. Page means the worksheet or sheet. So for that, we will be using either HSF sheet or sheet. This class is used. This class is used to create or read the worksheet. Okay. Same difference. The first one is for .xls and the other one is for both .xls and .xlsx. Okay. After reading the page, we have to read the number of rows. Sorry, yeah, we will iterate through over the rows. So we'll create the object of row using XSF row or HSF row. Same difference. One is for .xls and the other is for both .xls or .xlsx. And so this represents the row. Each object which we are creating is linked with the that will be used in the next step. So the object of workbook we will use in the worksheet. The object of worksheet we will use in the row, and the last one will be cell. Cell or cell. We use this to use this object to work with cell of the row we have fetched in the row object. So that is XSF row or XSF row function. Okay, this is just the theory. This is the theory. Practically, I am showing you over here. First, we have created the workbook object. Next line is we have created the object of the worksheet using XSF sheet. In that, we have given the name of the worksheet, which was in our case sheet 1. All right, can have like streams. So we will provide it streams. Now, next thing is we have to iterate over rows and columns. So when you deal with rows and columns, remember that we have to give the index, and index always starts with hello.
One.
Index always starts with
0.
0, 0.
0. Okay. So for the for the first row, index will be 0, and for the first column, index will be 0. Okay, fine. Let's say tell me like which cell data I should rate. Anyone?
City,
Huh? City and which row?
second,
Second row, that means this. Okay. So for the city and row. So
But
as
my city is Ahmedabad, not Vadodara.
It is Ahmedabad. Okay,
Yes.
so Ahmedabad. I didn't know that you are in Ahmedabad. Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank you for forgiving. Okay, so we have to rate this. So as we know, the city is in the column D. And index starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the row is second. So 0, 1. So row number will be 1. So in our script, we will use the worksheet object created at line number 31, and we'll just call the method get row, and in that we will pass the index. In our case, it is 1. So XSF row second row is equal to worksheet dot get row 1. Okay, and then we have to get the city. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So to get the cell, we will use the row object. So second row dot get cell and 3. Here it will just store all the details of that cell. It will not give you the value. To get the value, we have to use again that cell object dot get string value. Then only it will print the details. Then only you will be able to use the value stored in the particular cell. Okay.
So anyways, this is the example how to read from the file, right?
Yes. Yes.
So sometimes after reading the value, if you want to
IH,
push
writing for
them
IH.
in the
Writing for
Okay.
IH, right. बरोबर? हाँ. So do you want me to run this? I'm not sure it will run or not, since I have changed the libraries. Yep, city is Ahmedabad. This is what we were expecting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, are we go? Yeah. Next thing, what will happen if we write like this? It throws the error that there is nothing. There is nothing. Now
So,
here,
Nirvesh, when, for example, we have to create multiple users in the application, then in that case, we can use this way the Excel file where we can put all the records and can read it and create a users.
yes, we can.
Okay.
We'll take the we'll create one example for that on that as well. Don't worry.
Okay.
Not if not today, tomorrow we'll create one example for that. So which will be like the data-driven framework.
Okay. Yeah.
That will be the data-driven framework. So this is just to clear the concept about how to read the data from the Excel file and how we can write the data. The actual usage will be like you will be implementing that in one of the framework. Okay, fine. So I have told you that if you provide the incorrect or the empty cell address, then you will get the exception, null pointer exception, right? So make sure you provide the correct. And since it has stored the string, it has to the value stored in this file at line number in the city was the this. Okay, so we have used city cell dot get string value. If there is a number value, then let's say that the number, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Oops, sorry. And we try to fetch the value. Then what can happen? Because this is not the string, that is the number. So you want one more. So number cell. So remember, you have to create the object for each cell right now. Right. Obviously, we will like we'll use some for loop and everything, right? To avoid all this. Not get cell and now for and string, sorry, not string, it will be integer number cell dot get numeric cell value. Okay, so likewise you can use this. If there is a date, then you can use the date as well. What it is showing, it is double, so double, right? Number is, you can use the get date cell value. So there are number of options available. Get cell style, cell formula. If there's a formula, then you want to fetch it, use this. Okay, error, hyperlink, local date, numeric, raw value. Raw value means you are not sure that whether it's the string or anything, the actual value, the binary format value. If you want to get that, then use it. String cell value. Right. So basically, when we will use this is that when we treat throughout the Excel sheet, and for each cell we have different type of data. In that case, we can use the get row value, right? So it is automatically converted properly. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Barabar hai? Okay, so I'll run this one more time. And here, yes, we get the data. Now, next thing is about how to write the data. It is pretty much simple. How to write, why writing a data is important? Because when we execute our test case, we update the state, our test result as well, whether the test is passed or failed, right? So as we are using the same Excel for our test data, as the test case, as a or as an input to our test script for various tests. We will be updating the pass or fail status in that in the same Excel as well. So to write the data, first we need to create the cell. Why we need to create the cell? I have shown you that if there is an empty cell, then it will not write anything. It will throw null pointer exception. Over here, when we have given the wrong cell value, it has thrown the null pointer exception. So whenever you have to write something, make sure you first create the cell using the row object. जिस रो के अंदर आपको ये वैल्यू अपडेट करनी है, ठीक है, उसके अंदर you create the cell. So here our index will be now 5. That has to be the empty cell. Okay, create cell 5. In the second row, it will create the cell, and then after it will set the value to India. Then just use the country cell dot cell value to India. So these are the 2 lines you have to write. But these are the 2 lines used by our POI library. We have to make sure this has been saved. Written to hoga, but when you will close it, it will not be saved. So here we have to use file output stream. This object line number 52, file output stream. Then we have to perform like workbook dot write, the workbook object which we have created, workbook dot write, and then we have to close it. So while writing as well, we have to provide the Excel file name as we have done while reading. So for while reading, we will use the input stream. While writing anything, we will use the file output stream. Okay, fine, clear share, and then we will just close the object. I will close this, run this. Let me open the file. So it has written. Okay, done. Any doubt in this?
So
This is just for single row and single cell. Hello.
Correct.
Correct.
So Nirvish, my question is, when we have a scenario to test login, right? So sometimes we read data from file and perform multiple scenarios by giving different data combinations. So how we gonna write a code in such a way that every time it picks up unique value and
Next
give us
session.
different?
Next session, my friend. In the data framework, we will in the data driven framework, we will create the script in such a way that so that it will read data from Excel file, execute that test data, and update the Excel sheet, and then it performs the and then it checks for the next set of test data. Okay, fine. So there are multiple ways. But we will go with one. Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we will show one example of that. So that is the data-driven framework you are talking about. Okay.
Oh.
That is the complete data-driven framework. Here we are at the moment, we are just focusing on reading or writing the test data. Okay, we'll come to we will come to that frameworks. Okay. Now this was about just creating the just reading or writing the data in the from the single row or from the single cell. Now we will read फुल एक्सेल फाइल, राइट। उसके लिए कुछ लॉजिक अलग लिखना पड़ेगा, it will not be the same. The common thing will be what will be the common thing? This thing remains as it is, reading the data, right? To file the file name, the worksheet name will be as it is. There will not be any change on our script. Now, here, the additional thing which we have to add over here is the total number of rows. Total number of rows. Because to read the data, we will be using for loop. We'll be using the for loop. We have to read whole Excel sheet, right? So this is just the logic. For the logic, we have to identify that how many rows are there. Total number of rows are there. Okay. So because for that number of time we have to iterate in the for loop. So it will be like, so very first thing, when you are reading the whole Excel file, after reading the worksheet, get the row counts, so that you can get using worksheet object, worksheet dot get last row number minus worksheet dot get first row number. Why we have done this? Because our first row consists of just the headers, which are no of use. So that is the reason we are minusing this. If your data starts from the very first column or from the very first row, we will not minus it. We will not subtract it. Okay, fine. So this is the logic. So this returns the last row number. So it should have like 5. It will then it will not return the index. It will return the actual number. So 5, and the first row number will be 1. So 5 minus 1 is equal to 4 times. Okay. Hello. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा?
Little bit.
It's just the common sense. Now, as I have said that we have to iterate all over the row. So for integer number is equal to 0, then row number is less than आएगा या less than or equal to आएगा? Here it will be less than or equal to. Think we have to iterate for all of this.
Then less than.
So less than आएगा कि less than or equal to आएगा?
Less than equal to.
Equal to.
Sorry. Less than equal to.
Equal to आएगा. Are you sure?
we are considering whole table, right?
Okay. The
Including
start,
headers.
okay, start will be 0 or 1.
0.
Why?
Because
Why
counting
0?
from the row number first, we consider as 0, right?
Okay, but as I've said that we will not use this, right? We'll use this data only. So
Okay, then 1.
then 1, right?
Yes.
Till the end. So 1. 0, 1 name. Start from the index 1, 2, 3. It will be the less than or equal to row. Of next thing, we have to read this row. So how many cells are there in this row which have the data? How many cells are there which have the data? We have to get the number of that as well. Okay, so the total number of cells as well. So integer total cells in row is equal to, again we will use the worksheet object. Worksheet dot first get the row, it will be the I dot get showing an error. No, sorry,
We
not
have
the
not
I,
declared I.
not the I. Sorry. Get row number dot, and then we will use the get last cell number. Okay, these are the methods already available. We have to just use it, right? We should know कि भाई कहाँ है. What I am printing? Nothing. Total cells for is okay. Now we have to iterate for all these cells. So इसके लिए भी we need to create one more for loop. Here it will start from 0. Here it will start from 0. Okay. So integer cell number is equal to 0. Cell number less than equal to total cells in row and cell number plus this, and then what? We have to repeat the same steps which we have learned in read or write Excel file. What were the steps? Get cell. We have to create the cell object and then just use the get cell value. Okay. So here we'll create the object Should we create the object or just print it directly? Follow?
I think we should create an object and then print.
So it will not be the row. What it will be over here? Here we have not created any row object. So first we will have to create the row object as well. So XSF row is equal to worksheet dot get row, and in that we pass the row number. So what we will do, we can do this way, right? What is performance error? Row number, and one more thing, XSF cell, and here cell is equal to row dot get. Here it will be cell number, and then cell data. So cell data is equal to cell dot get string cell value. Okay, so for the number type we might get error. Let's see what error we are getting, and then we'll figure it out. Cell data. Cell data. Okay, so I think this should work. लॉजिक सही लग रहा है everyone?
Yes.
Let's see if this works or not. Error I cannot get a string value for the numeric cell. So in that case, what we will do? Get cell value. But ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. What was that? Get row value, but it will be the null pointer exception. Huh? One, two, three, four, five. Total number of rows is right. It's printing data for this only. First, let's fix this. I just want to check. Okay, string cell value. Yes. Then it goes for the row number 2. Then 2 is equal to get row total cells. Total cell for it should print the data. Okay. So here we are starting. So it will be less than. Next. Yes. It will be the less than. बराबर ना? We were starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Anyone got the idea? Hello.
No.
खबर ना पड़ी क्यों कर रही हो?
Less than total cells.
Why I have done less than? Why I have done less than? Because 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Our for loop should iterate for 4 times. This for loop. Cell number. It starts from 0. And here we have done in this way, less than or equal to. So first time value is 0, it will fetch the value and iterate. For the second cell again, it will iterate. Third, fourth, sorry. For the third cell, it will have the value 0, 1, 2. For the third cell, 0, sorry, for the last cell, fourth cell, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The cell number will be 3. 3. 3 is less than equal to 4. Total count will be 4. Total count is 4, but the last will be 3 is less than equal to 4. Correct? हो गया पास? ठीक. Now cell number plus plus. So 4 is equal to 4. So when it comes row dot get cell 4, it throws the null pointer exception. So here we have removed this basic for loop operation. Nothing else. So number okay. Now we have to deal with numerical. Both the value. So in that case, get address, get boolean, get cell command, get cell star, cell dot. It was there in the previous version. Just the cell value. The row value returns the binary version. So that's of no use. Alright. For the string we will get the binary value. So that's of no use. How we will handle this? Get string value and all this. किसी को कुछ आइडिया आ रहा है? हेलो, बोलेंगे आपको नहीं पा रहा, हम क्यों आ रहे हैं? Anyone? Any thoughts? हो गए क्या?
No, जाग रहा है.
जाग रहे हैं? तो सुकर्षु, like what we'll do? I'm stopping the recording for this because what we have to do we have covered.